Let's get to Bob Pisani. Dow's up 505.
Carl, healthcare is leading. UnitedHealth is 40% of the Dow gains right now, but banks are lagging. Gold's down here. Just take a look at some of the stocks here. Healthcare, big leadership group. Semi's also doing well. Utilities bouncing on the yields, still staying down here. That's getting a bounce. Industrial about in line here. Again, you see banks doing nothing right now. And take a look at some of the big banks that are out there. No bounce at all today, and no bounce in yields either. So there you go. This is zero, doing absolutely nothing. JP Morgan's actually a drag on the Dow Jones Industrial right now. We talked about this yesterday, but bears repeating again, this triple whammy, as I like to call it, with the banks here. Rock bottom rates here, lower loan growth possibilities with the coronavirus impact, and then also these are possibilities of higher default rates out there. There's your triple whammy hurting banks. One thing's for sure, these banks are getting really cheap again, like cheap on back 3-4 years ago here. So 9 times forward on Bank of America. This was 13 6 weeks ago. Citi 7.6. That was 10 6 weeks ago. Fifth Third 8, 8.5. These were around 10 also 6 weeks ago. So nobody's going any big calls on buying the banks because of the PE ratios are down. But again, they're back in those really cheap areas that we've seen several years ago. Healthcare stocks all huge today. Obviously, look, UnitedHealth here. 12 points there. That's a big part of the overall move here that we're seeing in the Dow. 32 points actually up. That's a big reason why the Dow is up so much. Anthem, HCA, of course, all this on Biden's victories. And if you take a look at the futures here, I just want to show you this, what happened last night overnight, because as we got trickles reporting here, here's the futures at 7 o'clock. This is when the first results started coming in about Super Tuesday. You can see the market just sort of moving up throughout the day as we got headlines on clear Biden victories in a number of key states, and of course that upset win in Texas. It's been very hard interpreting the impact of elections on the stock market. This is very difficult. A lot of people have a hard time with it. Raymond James had a point out this morning. I think it was as good as any. Remember that whole thing about Sanders, that the surge of Sanders would be good for the markets because he would lose against President Trump, and that was the initial idea. So the markets kind of ignored a lot of this. The coronavirus uncertainty created a higher chance of Sanders winning, and of course that created a lot of uncertainty. It may have contributed to some of the market turmoil in the last week. This is very hard to push out and figure out in a clear way, but Biden's Super Tuesday wins lowered Sanders' chances overall, and so now you've got a possibility of the market being okay with Biden going here. This is very hard to figure out here, but this is Raymond James' interpretation. I think it makes some sense. Right now, we're just off of the highs for the day, Carl. Dow's up 512 points.